Hey guys, so recently I went to a prom and it was a homeschool prom. So this is pretty much just story time about a public school kid going to a homeschool kid prom. So my friend, we're gonna name him Jack. Jack invited me and my friend Shayla to go to this homeschool prom. Now I was like, okay, I'm down to get jiggy, you know. I was ready and I was popping that night. I had my highlighter going on. I felt great. And they were a little late picking me up, so I was a little confused. Because normally it's stereotypical to know like the girl is supposed to be late and the guy is supposed to be waiting on the girl. But it was like the other way around. So I was a little bit confused. And they said that they were too busy getting on Jack's armor. And I was like, okay. So I kind of thought when they meant armor, I thought they meant like a suit. Because it's prom. They pull up to my house. And he's wearing full-on armor gear. Like, helmet, he's got a sword. He's got, like, chains on him. Like, he is ready to go fight in the war. So I just kind of sat there and I was like, oh, this is cool. This is cool, but it's prom. So I didn't fully comprehend it. So that's not the weirdest thing. We show up and it's a ton of homeschool kids getting their pictures taken. And I was like, okay, that's cool. That's poppin'. A lot of them look poppin', so I was like, go them. And we show up and everybody's awing and oohing over my friend Jack who's wearing the full armor. Now, at first, if you think about it from public schooling, that's frowned upon. That's just highly frowned upon. So the fact that like everybody thought it was cool that he was wearing an armor thing was it was amazing. Because, you know, I haven't really met people like that who are just really accepting and are just equally as weird. So I thought that was pretty cool. We get inside and it's like this cool little Alice in Wonderland thing that I'm sure I was told like 3 million times was the thing, but your girl don't pay attention to anything. So we walk in and some people are like dressed up really nice in fancy suits and stuff, and then other people dressed up as actual characters, which I thought was cool because I used to like Alice in Wonderland a lot when I was a younger kid. And I think my 7th grade year, that was the theme of my birthday party. So I thought that was really cool. However, we get inside of this dance, right? And everything looks great. There was like amazing food. Everything was just beautiful. But keep in mind, these are homeschooler kids. So everybody had their own little corner where they all stood socially awkward, just sitting there like. So I didn't know what to think because no one was dancing. Like at the beginning of the dance when people were supposed to be getting poppin', nobody was getting poppin'. So I'm from a school district that's known not to be the best. We're known to be weed. That's what we're known to be. So at our dances there's a lot of twerking, getting jiggy with the other person right next to you. There's a lot of getting jiggy. There was no getting jiggy at this dance. So I felt really awkward because I was like, this ain't Christmas no more. So everybody was socially awkward, but they still had their little cliques, which I thought was kind of funny because it is kind of funny. There was like the group of the furries, which I kind of like, I avoided the furries. But they all had cat tights, they all had their kitty ears. A lot of them didn't dress up fancy that much. They just kind of wore like a skirt or like a 21 Pilots t-shirt and called it good. So I was like, okay, that's kind of expected. You know, homeschooler kids. There was like this guy who had like a daddy hat that just walked around the whole time shirtless. So I was like, okay. And he had like tattoos all over him and I was like, okay, I see you. And And then there was the other group that I'm going to assume is, like, the popular ones. Because they all had, like, their tan. They all looked really nice in their dresses. Like, go them. They were popping. They were the most popping people there. So I was like, okay, y'all are cool. I like you. So I saw them, and I just thought that they were pretty cool. And they said that I was pretty cool. So I was like, thanks. And then there was, like, another group of people who all dressed up as, like, the characters from Alice in Wonderland. And they were, like, more, like, steampunk. And I was like, okay, you go, guys. So I kind of just sat there at the dance. And I felt really awkward because I didn't know anybody there. But at the same time, everybody else was super duper awkward. So it was difficult to make friends because it was kind of like making friends like this. Hi. Hi. So it was awkward. It was the most awkward dance that I've ever been to. And then the time that everybody started getting poppin' is when Fergalicious came on. So I was getting jiggy down on the dance floor. I was like, because Fergalicious was playing. Like, come on now. And a lot of other people were starting to get jiggy. But when I say getting jiggy, they're going. So I was like, okay, that's cool. That's cool. And then I sat down at the table. And then I saw this dude walk past. And I was like, that's a nice looking homeschool kid. So he walked past. And I was like, I was foaming from the mouth, y'all. I thought he was cute. And then my friend, Shayla, was looking over too. So I was like, girl, you see what I'm talking about? And she was like, yeah. And then I asked her who she was talking about. And she was talking about a really hot girl. And I was like, oh, okay. So I made it my mission to be able to talk to this person. I, like, made it my goal was to, like, talk to this one person. Because I thought that they were oof. Big oof. So I kind of, like, tried to, like, accidentally bump into them, like, as slice I possibly could. And this person was super duper freaking tall. Like, I was up to their shoulder. I couldn't reach their neck. And I know that I say that a lot about people, but this dude was freaking tall. So I think that's, like, the main reason why I was like, ooh, he nice, because he was tall. So I look up at him, and I'm like, why you so tall? That's the slyest thing that I could obviously think of. And he looked at me, and he just gave me, like, the most plain face ever. Was like, genetics. And I felt really bad, because, like, fuck, that's dumb. And then my mouth and my brain couldn't cooperate, because it was getting really awkward. So I was like, did you try not being tall? And that's, like, the first thing that my mouth could think of. So I was like, well, this sucks. And then he, like, replied again, but he was more awkward about it this time. He was like, genetics, I can't change it. And I was just like, dang, I already messed it up. So then he walked away, and I was like, I will remember you. You will remember me. So, just kind of died a little bit inside, but I still wasn't gonna give up. So I looked at my friends, and I was like, I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna go for the kill. And I made it my mission to give this homeschool kid's number. So I saw them, like, I saw him and his little friend, and his little friend was, like, really cool. I liked his friend. That was a cool person, but I wasn't, like, he wasn't cute, but he was, like, nice. He was nice. So I was like, I'm going to be friends with this dude too. So that was strategy. And then I saw him and his friend leave the dance. So I was like, how am I going to get his number if he's leaving? So my friends sat there, and they were like, you got to go for the kill, Maddie. You got to go. And I was like, I know, guys. I got to go for the kill. And I know that I got to go for it. So I awkwardly stuck out my head from the door. And I just saw him sitting there on the steps. So I was like, I got to do this. My head's already sticking out of the door. I can't just go back now. So I go in. And then I walk my happy self down the steps. And then, in the most awkward way that I could possibly do it, I was like, are you leaving? And then they were like, nah, it's too loud out there, in there. So I was like, okay, this is my time to shine. So I pulled out a dagger, because I had a dagger with me. And I was like, that's how you get a guy. Dagger time. So they thought the dagger was cool. So I thought I got a little bit brownie points from that. So as I was talking to them, my friends decided to step outside. And I don't think that they heard this, but they sat there in the background yelling, she wants your number. She wants your number. Like, just being like the complete and other jerkwads decided to freaking do that. So I was heated. So I was pretty upset because of it. So when we eventually walked back inside, I was the slyest dog that I could be. And I was like, you should give me your number. And I handed him my small phone. My hands look really big, but they're not that big. Like, here's a book, right? Yeah, my hands are tiny. So his big old hands, because he's freaking tall, just like sat there and he was like, and I was like, okay, I'm down with this. I'm jiggy with this. So then he gave me his number, and then he walked back into, like, the main part of the dance. And I was talking to his friend. And then I looked over at his friend, and I was like, so, best buddy, want to tell me if your friend over there is single? Please? And then his friend was like, okay, this is how you do it. This is the game plan. So his friend was helping me out the whole time. So I was like, thank you, thank you, thank you. I needed this. So his friend sat there and was giving me tips and then told me to go for it. This dude was single. And I was like, yeah, let's go. So I was gonna pull out my bag of tricks because I have pickup lines. So this guy gets pulled off to the side. And his friend's like, kiss. So I'm like, fuck, man, you just fucked me up, you know? Oh, I mean, freaked. But he just messed me up completely. So I was like, sucks to suck. So he sat there and he just looked at me awkwardly, and I put my elbow on this table like this, and I asked him, are you a magician? He said no, of course. And then I was like, are you sure? Because every single time that I walk into a room, everybody else disappears. I was number one sly dog ever. He gave me this really weird confused look. Looked at me like this. And walked away. And I don't think that I've ever, like, had my heart just die in an instant. I was like, man, messed it up. So I sat there in the dance, and I was just like, sad day. So then I felt really bad, and my friends were like, oh, just say sorry to him. It's fine. It's fine. It's okay. It's okay. You're cute. You'll get away with it. And I just kind of sat there, and I was like, maybe I will. Maybe I will get away with it. So I typed an apology, because as much as I want to believe that I'm less socially awkward than most of those kids there, I wasn't. So I typed up a big, like, sorry. You know, and I just met him that day, so now I think back on it, and I'm like, wow, that's stupid. So I saw that he walked outside again, so I was like, damn it, they're probably, like, talking shit on me. So I'll go outside, and I hand him my phone, and he reads it, and he said, oh, no, you're fine, I probably already forgot what the joke was. And I sat there, and I was like, it wasn't a joke, but okay. So then we were cool again, so I was like, yes, let go. So most of the night, I kind of just followed them around like a stray puppy dog, which I felt terrible about, because I know how it feels to have just like some random ass person follow you. It sucks. It's terrible. You're like, go away. But I didn't really know a lot of people at the dance, and that guy was really cute, and I wanted to be friends with his friend, so I thought his friend was cool. So I just kind of followed them around awkwardly. And every single time that they would talk to other people, I would just kind of like stray away. Because, you know, it was rude. So I kept following them around most of the night. And then I was about to leave. And there was this last song that played. And it was like Beauty and the Beast, right? And I was like, time to go in for the kill. So I walked up to him and I was like, want to slow dance with me? And he looked at me and he was like, I can't slow dance. I was like, I'll help you. He was like, no. And I was like, please. And he was like, no. So I was like, man, that sucks. This is terrible. This is awful. And then I was like, but he gave me a hug. So I feel like that like helped me a little bit. And then I was going in to get some food. And I was like, I'm not gonna lie. I think you were pretty cute. He looked at me and he said, you're pretty cute too. But I know Smash. And I was like, man, no Smash. But he did give me his phone number. So I was psyched about that because I'm like, friendship. And then at the very end of the night when my friends walked over and said that we were about to leave, I gave him another hug. And I don't know how this brought up, but I think he whispered into my ear and he said, I hope you know you're the second person that's tried to ask me out tonight. What? I did not ask this boy out. I just said he was cute. And in my mind, I was a little bit salty because I was like, don't you dare be full of yourself, kid. I just thought you were cute. I never asked you out. So that low-key triggered me. So sassy Maddie came out instead of my cute, like, flirty Maddie. So I looked at him and I said, well, you said I was cute. And then he looks at me and has the audacity to say, well, she was cute too. Okay, I see. So I was a little bit salty about that. And then I was like, well, you gave me your number. What you gonna do? And then he was like, yeah, you're right. I don't normally do that. And then I was like happy because I was like, yeah, that's right. That's right. Let's go. So at the very end of the night, my friends and I took a long car ride home. And we just talked about how much fun we had. They had a lot of fun together because they were mostly hanging out most of the time. And I loved hanging out with them, but I tended to not be able to, like, dance that well with them and stuff like that. Because my friend Shayla can dance really well. And my other friend Jack was the life of the party the whole time. So that was the story of how I was at a socially awkward prom.